From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network and Troy campuses around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Weekly.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Weekly. We're glad you joined us for this look at what's happening in and around Troy University. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. Well, campaigning for the Student Government Association Executive Officer elections began last week. As a part of that campaigning, the candidates had a chance to share their platforms in a televised debate here on TrojanVision. Brady Talbert has the story.
It's campaign season for Troy University's campus as hopeful Student Government Association exec members plaster posters in prominent places and try to have their voices heard by the student body before Election Day.
3, 2, 1, Taylor's up.
On Thursday, those individuals had their chance to speak directly to the student body from right here in the Troy TrojanVision studio. Just behind this wall, candidates for the 2019 to 2020 Student Government Association exec are participating in a debate. Now, as you can see right now, the candidates for the president of Troy University are live and on air. Why are they there? For your vote. In segments, candidates answered questions from TrojanVision's moderator, Taylor Pollock. And to keep candidates on their toes, Pollock asked each individual a question enclosed in an envelope, which was selected by random draw.
A lot of change can come from people in those positions, so obviously we want people that are actually going to utilize the positions.
The presidential race this year consists of 3 candidates: University Activities Council Activities Coordinator Taylor Holt, Vice President of Campus Activities Morgan Long, and Senator Carter Ray, who holds the Constitution and Rules Chair in the Senate. Each candidate with their own set of qualifications, running on different platforms.
I really think the first big issue is we need a parking deck. Students drive around campus all day, and rather than being in the classroom, they're waiting to find an open parking spot. So I think having a parking deck is the first big thing.
My campaign consists of wanting better food options, better food quality, different meal plans, flex points that roll over between fall and spring semester, more graduation tickets, better security on campus, and then last, an ID system that replaces the Trojan cards with a mobile app on your phone.
Together, we can create a healthier, safer, and smarter Troy University. Healthier, obviously dealing physically with creating a healthier food option, mentally, mental health. Safety, obviously a big concern with cameras and lighting discrepancies. And smarter, creating a virtual way for students to pay for services on campus.
The executive election will be held March 6th from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and students' Troy University email addresses.
Hector, the Trojan statue that resides in the center of the Bibb Graves Quad, is arguably one of the most recognized statues on campus, but another statue received some recognition Tuesday morning at a dedication ceremony in front of Hawkins Hall. Carissa Justice has the details.
Those familiar with Troy University's campus may recognize the statue behind me, as it has been sitting outside of Hawkins Hall for the past 2 years. What people may not realize is the story behind the statue, or the man to whom it is dedicated. However, a dedication ceremony held at Hawkins Hall on Tuesday answered both of these questions.
This is a great opportunity to celebrate a gentleman who gave many years of service to Troy University, Dr. James Kimbrough. We've come today to honor him through the dedication of a very important statue.
Dr. James Kimbrough got his start at Troy University in 1972 as a member of the faculty. He went on to dedicate over 25 years of service to this university, and he spoke on how it felt to have this statue dedicated to him.
It just means the world to me, because it means that the people here appreciate what I did while I was here, and I plan to do a lot more in the future.
Dr. Kimbrough is a well-respected and admired member of the Troy University family who credits his success to those he worked with.
I think any success I had was because I had good people working with me. They gave their best.
At first glance, the statue may not look like much, but there is a deep meaning behind why this particular one was chosen.
It's of a father holding a child in a very loving manner. And what else would demonstrate, the essence of teaching, especially teaching teachers? That's what that statue represents. It reminds us that of the importance of leading with your heart, loving what you do, and loving the people for whom you do it.
Carissa Justice, Troy, TrojanVision News.
A new building coming to Troy's Dothan campus will provide a new learning opportunity for both Troy University students and pre-K children. Cody Giles gives us a look at the new Coleman Center and what it'll mean for education in the Wiregrass.
Troy University's Dothan campus has begun construction of a new building that will enable toddlers to get a jump start on their learning experiences.
We have several goals, and one is to provide a good an early learning program for the children in our community. And we will also be providing lab and research-based programs so that students and faculty can perform lab and research with our children.
I think there's around 1,400 children that need to be served that's not being served just in our area. The data shows that the children, the earlier the children are involved into academic endeavors, the greater success they have in a longevity study.
Early childhood education is key to student achievement, post-secondary achievement, and lifelong achievement.
Though the main aspect of this building is helping young minds grow, it will definitely have its place for all types of people.
In addition to the early learning program, they'll also provide health assessments for the students. Social workers, nursing students can also come in and assist. So it will just be focusing on the whole child.
Though the Coleman Center behind me looks far from being finished, the expected completion date is July or early August, with plans to enroll its first set of students in fall of 2019.
It's going up quickly, and we're right around the corner from opening the doors and sharing with the community what we have to offer.
Cody Giles, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Troy University has been recognized for its efforts to become more environmentally friendly. Sam Granville gives us a look at what Troy has done to receive the recognition.
Students can typically be seen around campus predominantly in cardinal and white, but in a group effort of students and faculty alike, the university has gone green. The Alabama State Department of Education has announced Troy University as its 2019 Green Ribbon School.
We got the designation, and it really looked at three areas. One, our operations, so from a physical plant standpoint, the efficiencies of water, electricity, usage of resources. One from a curriculum standpoint, so what we do to engage students in STEM-based disciplines, engage them in career fields and career options that would lead them to work in the sustainability field. And then our public service activities where we are engaging our students as well as our community in addressing and remediating environmental issues.
Troy University's application to become an Alabama Green Ribbon School showcased many impressive efforts in the three aforementioned areas, such as the creation of Janice Hawkins Cultural Arts Park.
Effectively, it was a gully, and through this beautification effort, this is a place that students can go out and recreate. Classes and activities can be held, performances can be held in the amphitheater, and so it's really become a synergy point around campus and something that we're pretty proud of.
This is Troy University's first year receiving the award, but it certainly does not plan on it being the last.
I think this designation brings some synergy around what we've been doing, and so hopefully can propel us forward into some future endeavors in a more concerted way.
Sam Granville, Troy TrojanVision News.
We're going to take a short break, but when we return, Troy students learn about a different side of professional sports. We'll explain after this, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Now back to Troy Trojan Vision News Weekly.
Community leaders from across the state were in Troy last week to learn about ways to improve economic development opportunities. Aaron Dixon has the story.
Economic Development Association of Alabama educates and engages elected officials around the state of Alabama. And today they visited Troy to conduct an Essentials to Economic Development course for these officials.
Today's session is really just to give them a little bit better of an awareness and a little bit more solid foundation of just what's involved with economic development.
Today they gathered to learn how to better grow their economy the smart way, but they also want to learn how to grow their community.
The idea that economic development is not just about industrial recruiting. There are a lot of other things that are important as well, like business retention and expansion, retail development, entrepreneurship and small business, and especially, the community development. Having a strong community is an important foundation to have a good, strong economy.
After Dr. Sumner spoke, Jim Searcy came and talked to the officials, and then they ended the day with a panel where the officials could ask questions regarding economic development.
After that, we're going to have Jim Searcy, who is the Executive Director of the Economic Development Association of Alabama. He'll be talking about what it's really like to be an economic developer in a community and what some of his experiences over the years, some lessons learned that he's been exposed to during his career.
People from all over the state of Alabama attended this meeting today, and Mixon says that these lessons will hopefully benefit the state of Alabama.
We hope they'll come back and learn from the entire series and be more educated and can help their communities grow and help grow the state of Alabama.
This is the first of 5 meetings the EDAA will hold this spring, and they will cover other topics that are beneficial to economic development. Aaron Dixon, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
When you typically think of getting a job, odds are you imagine an application process as well as an interview in an employer's office. Well, that wasn't necessarily the case Wednesday morning at Career Services Education Fair, as Troy education students had a chance to walk away with jobs on the spot. Brady Talbert shows us how.
They can really get a job today at this fair.
Students were given the chance to network with potential employers in hopes of walking away with a career in education at Wednesday morning's job fair. Senior education majors and representatives from school systems from across the Southeast gathered in Hawkins Hall today to exchange resumes and discuss job availabilities upon graduation.
They've prepared their resumes, they've done their internships, they're finishing up their internships, and then, they're ready to get a job. So these school systems are here interviewing them, and they would start right after they graduate in May.
47 school systems attended the education fair, offering students the opportunity to interview with 47 employers, all in the same room.
I've talked to people at Hoover, Escambia County Schools, and Birmingham City Schools, so it's really good. I still got a lot more to go, though.
The education fair is held each semester, but Career Services says opportunities like this aren't limited to just education majors. In fact, they're just a handshake away.
We offer a lot of different types of fairs. There's the all majors, there's a business, there's a computer science. So we want our students to go to Handshake. That's on our website to see all the events that are coming up.
Now, to access Handshake, you'll want to go to the Troy University Career Services page and scroll on down until you see this. Handshake. Then you're going to log in and create a profile. Now, this is going to give you access to internship opportunities, job availabilities, as well as career fairs like the one today. In the newsroom, Brady Talbert, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
When most people think about professional sports, they think about the athletes performing on the field, but most people don't think about all the workers behind the scenes providing a once-in-a-lifetime experience for the fans during the game. However, Troy students had the chance to hear from one of those workers last Thursday. Nick Brooks has the story.
Troy alum and current director of fan data for the Atlanta Falcons and Atlanta United FC, Mark Simmons, came back to Troy Thursday to take part in the Sorrell College of Business Geek Speak. He touched on what his job entails and how to succeed at it.
My job ultimately is to analyze our fan data to understand how we can positively improve the fan experience. Looking at things like personal information along with their engagement data with our different teams.
Simmons talks about a few jobs he held in college to get him where he is today and how it helped him.
Let your passion drive you. You know, if you really want to work in sports, let that drive you. Go get different experiences, go do different jobs, research different ideas and things, and figure out how you're going to get into the spot you want to be at.
Business major Cade Tittle says he has a strong interest in the sports industry, and the opportunity to hear Simmons piqued his interest even more.
Just knowing that he was working with professional sports and stuff like that, the business side of all that kind of stuff really made me interested to come listen, hear what he had to say about all that, maybe try and get into something like that when I get my degree one day.
Simmons says he hopes students will be able to come away with information from the Geek Speak that they can apply in their future career.
A lot of information that you probably don't know, like you think about sports, you don't think of the business side of it, and that's what he really hit on a lot of the data and stuff that they have to collect for stuff like that to make the experience better for everybody.
Simmons also said he wants students to keep pursuing the goals they have set and work hard towards them. Nick Brooks, Troy, TrojanVision News.
We're going to take another quick break, but when we come back, we'll see how some Troy students got in touch with their artistic side. That's coming up after this, so stay tuned.
We go and clear the roads looking for IEDs. We're encapsulated in those vehicles, and we get blast wave injuries very easily inside of those things. I'm actually diagnosed with PTSD and multiple cases of mild traumatic brain injury. But I was brought up, drive on, don't let your soldiers see that anything's wrong. But I started to realize that I wasn't the same guy. Having more bad days than good days set in more and more after each deployment and each injury. When I finally realized that I needed professional help, the switch for me was my family. And my wife, Tanya, thank God, she's open and honest with me and hounded me enough times to where I did go and get treatment. And I'm so happy that I sought the treatment because I know that if I hadn't, there's no way I'd be a first sergeant right now. I know that if I hadn't said help, I would have remained helpless. I definitely think that soldiers are stronger when they realize they have a problem and they ask for help.
Now back to Troy TrojanVision News Weekly.
Spring is quickly approaching, and while some are looking forward to the warmer temperatures, others are prepping for one of the biggest fundraisers worldwide. Taylor Pollock shows us how teams are getting ready for this year's Relay for Life.
Students representing multiple organizations on campus got together Tuesday night to prepare for Troy University's Relay for Life Cancer Walk.
This meeting in particular was just for organizations to get the information needed about how they can be involved with Relay, when the dates are, what all they need to have in order to participate and all that kind of stuff. So basically just informational for them to kind of be on the same page.
Many students have had loved ones affected by cancer and feel that being a part of the fight against it is critical.
My dad passed away from colon cancer when I was really young, and so my family was always super involved growing up. And the lady that is our American Cancer Society advisor, I guess you could say, she is the same in my hometown as Troy University. And so when I moved to Troy, she kind of helped me get involved here, and so I've been involved with the Relay since freshman year.
And while some organizations have already begun prepping for the fundraiser,
we try to raise as much money as we can and get as much participation from our chapter as we can. Normally, half of our chapter participates every year, and even more because so many people love this cause and want to help.
Tu says there is still time for other teams to join Troy in the fight against cancer.
Anybody at all. There's no specific organizations that have to be involved. We really have a variety of organizations involved, from Greek to Circle K was here tonight. Normally SGA is involved in some way. If there are any other organizations, they can email me to get more information, but we'd love to see all students there of all organizations on March 29th.
There are many ways for students to showcase their talents on campus. However, last Thursday, students got the opportunity to do so by competing in the National Association of Black Journalists Apollo Night. Adoria Hughes has the story.
Singing, dancing, and poetry were among the talents showcased at the NABJ Apollo Night, which was also hosted by Delta Sigma Theta sorority.
So tonight we had Apollo Night, which is basically just something that NABJ does every year during Black History Month. It's kind of like the Apollo Night from like the big screen Apollo Night that they had back in the day, and basically we just ask students from around the campus if they want to participate. They pay $5 and they get that $5 back, and the prize was $60.
The winner says she feels her voice made her stand out from the other contestants.
I feel good about it, man. It's a humbling experience all the time, and I just enjoy singing, and that's just what I love to do. So even when I lose, I'm still winning.
One local organization will also be benefiting from the funds raised.
The Boys and Girls Club will definitely benefit from our donations. They need a lot of work done, especially around the building area. So I know that our donations can definitely help there. They also need just like basic stuff like pens, pencils, notebooks, just things like that. Also snacks for the kids. So I definitely feel like our proceeds will definitely help towards the Boys and Girls Club.
To keep up with upcoming events, follow Troy_NABJ on social media.
Not everyone can be lucky enough to be a gifted artist, but that doesn't stop people from trying. And that's exactly what Troy students were doing Wednesday night as they channeled their inner Bob Ross and did a little painting courtesy of the University Activities Council. Henrietta Stinson has more.
Troy's University Activities Council held an event in the Trojan Center ballrooms that allowed students to express themselves through painting canvases.
This event is just a painting event for students. They have the opportunity to paint their own thing, or I have 8 different options that they can choose from, and I'll talk them through the steps, help them get started, let them do their thing.
University Activities Council wanted to host an event that made students relax more.
It gives the students time to, relax, especially during midterm season right now, and just come here and show their creativity and release some stress. So that's pretty much why we put it on.
Many students came out to the event, and there were various kinds of paintings that the students painted. Some students even used pictures from their phones for inspiration.
I painted this ombre, blue kind of canvas. It has Indiana on it, and that's my home state. So I wanted to embody my home, where I'm from and stuff like that.
I painted my home state, Florida, and with the coordinates because I'm from Florida and I love being from Florida, and I did the sunset because our sunsets are beautiful in Florida.
I painted a different version of her Japanese blossoms. I did a lovely ensemble of indigo and blue.
Henrietta Stinson, Troy TrojanVision News.
Well, it's time for our last break, but when we return, we'll see some of the creative techniques Troy Greeks employed to raise money for worthy causes this week. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Mom, can we get some ice cream? Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
This is Dr. Daniel Smith. He's an expert in domestic and international economics. But his proudest achievement is connecting with his students and helping them accomplish more than they ever thought possible. That's the warrior spirit, and it's alive and well at Troy University. Feel it at troy.edu/spirit.
Now back to Troy TrojanVision News Weekly.
Saturday morning run was made a little bit more fun as Troy's Kappa Delta sorority sprinkled a little color into some runners' lives. Jessica Prince shows us why.
It's a colorful day here in Troy as the Delta Delta chapter of Kappa Delta hosts their annual 5K color run.
Today we have our Color Me Katie 5K run benefiting Prevent Child Abuse America and the Pike Regional Child Advocacy Center. And it's where we have people from all over the Southeast, even over the country, that come and support our cause, and they even donate just like regular money. Today it's just like the fun event that we put on annually.
Attendees of all ages participated in events ranging from a fun run to the 5K, while others simply came for moral support.
Oh, it's beautiful out here. There is a lot of people out here. Well, I think it's great. It gives people that's able to run a chance to get out there and enjoy themselves.
The color run was just one of the events held by the sorority following the Sham Rock and Roll plate sale. Vice President of Community Service Allison Platt spoke on the preparations made for the event.
It's definitely a long process. It takes a few months. We usually start in December, planning the venue, making sure that we have reservations on campus. Get to do the fun stuff later, getting the color, planning the shirts, planning the food for the night. So all of that, it was really a fun process.
Students, family, and friends joined Kappa Delta for fun and fitness at the Troy Parks and Recreation in an effort to raise money for their philanthropy.
Basically, what it's for is to raise funds for our philanthropy, Prevent Child Abuse of America. 80% of our funds stay right here in Troy, Alabama at the Pike County Child Advocacy Center. We raise our money for them specifically because they're such a great cause and a great influencer in our communities.
Jessica Prince, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Playing on a seesaw is not unusual for children, but for college students, it's not as normal, and even less normal to be seesawing for 48 hours straight. That's exactly what one Troy fraternity did this week. Stuart Bradley has that story.
Troy's campus can seem pretty empty late at night, especially since most students are likely asleep or in their dorms. And while it will likely stay this way for the next 48 hours, there will be at least one exception. The Lambda Zeta chapter of Tau Kappa Epsilon began their 48-hour Seesaw for St. Jude philanthropy event on Tuesday at midnight.
So a seesaw is symbolic of what kids like to do because, growing up, you're on a playground most times with your friends, and a seesaw is normally on a playground, and it's a great way to pass time.
The event is exactly how it sounds. For 48 consecutive hours, members of the fraternity take shifts riding a seesaw on the TC Quad to help raise money and awareness for St. Jude Cancer Research Hospital.
The big thing to note about the 48-hour seesaw is that whether it's the middle of the day or the middle of the night, there's always somebody there to make sure that the seesaw never stops. So tell me, you guys, about 12 hours in, how you feeling?
Man, having covered the 12 o'clock shift, the 6 o'clock shift, and this shift, I'm a little sore and I'm a little tired, but at the end of the day, it's all worth it because it's for the kids. I mean, this is a huge event for us. It's been a huge tradition, and we're just trying to keep it going forward.
For anyone looking to donate, they can send money to the TEAC Venmo at TKE-LZ. There's also still plenty of time left to walk out to the TC Quad and physically donate, as the seesaw won't end until Thursday at midnight. Stuart Bradley, Troy, TrojanVision News.
To wrap up Black History Month, some Troy students got the opportunity to pay tribute to the fashion of the Harlem Renaissance as part of an evolutionary runway fashion show that incorporated some modern styles as well. Adoria Hughes explains.
Last night, the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority and the Next Big Thing modeling troupe hosted a fashion show displaying fashion trends from the 80s to today's current trends.
Okay, so this fashion show is basically on the Harlem Renaissance. We started with the 1920s and finished it with today's. During each character, we're just showing what the 1920s did in their era.
The NBT modeling troupe is the newest organization on campus, and it allows students to show their talents on the runway.
The organization is a group of models that come together to foster a better bond for the attending audience. What that means is we'll get together and model for fashion shows, we'll do walks around campus and do photo shoots together. Just a modeling group for real.
The NBT model troupe hopes to promote confidence and positivity on campus with future events.
And we are wanting to influence the student body of Troy University by showing them that you can be comfortable in your skin. Like, we have all forms of shapes, sizes, colors in the modeling troupe, and confidence is one thing that we teach, that we are always ground on. Like, we want that to encourage our student body to continue to do whatever you're doing, do what you want to do, and excel in it. Do not give up and don't let nobody tell you otherwise.
To keep up with upcoming events, follow NBT Model Troupe on social media. Adoria Hughes, Troy, TrojanVision News.
And that's what happened this week. To find out what's happening on a daily basis, you can tune into Troy TrojanVision News at 5, 6:30, and 10:30, Monday through Friday, or anytime by following us on Twitter at Troy TV News. Also, feel free to like our Troy TrojanVision News fan page on Facebook to see online content from Troy TrojanVision News. We hope you join us again next week for another edition of Troy TrojanVision Weekly. Have a good week.